The insanity continues, my friends. This is Tony. Hope you're all doing well. Oh, we got so many stories to cover in this video. We, of course, have Gwyneth Paltrow. We'll get into that in a second here. We have actually a ton of stuff going on in Europe. You're not going to believe. We're going to get into Jerome Powell, how he may be out soon here, and actually how much ridiculous amount of money he's spending there at the Fed. And actually, we got a huge story. Actually, a couple huge stories here. I think I might have figured out something, my friends. Something big. Something that has to do with that island, but it's much, much bigger than people realize. I kind of got into it a little bit over my other channel, but we're going to get into much deeper and actually a ton of other stuff. Let's just get going here. We have here Gwyneth Paltrow, apparently ex-wife of Chris Martin, the Coldplay singer, is going to represent the Astronomers Company. You remember the whole CEO that got caught on the kiss cam at the Coldplay concert, right? Well, apparently they have a sense of humor. They hired the ex-wife of the singer to represent them. And it just shows you how insane our world is. Obviously, they got fired or lost their jobs in the process. But, you know, I guess this is a way of trying to bounce back as a company. And just hire the ex-wife of the singer that basically exposed their CEO. So you got that story. You got here, apparently the internet is in danger. And actually, there's a little bit something going on here, my friends. They say they want to protect you and your privacy on the internet, particularly in the UK. They just passed some laws there. And it sounds all nice and good at first glance until you understand what they're really doing. And they're also trying to do it here. Let me just show you what's going on. Check this out.
So new rules to protect children online enforced from today.
As of today, the UK's internet has changed. There are strict new rules in place designed to put children's safety online at the heart of our scrolling. Codes are now being enforced, and they'll change how adults can go online too.
For some services, this will mean putting in place highly effective age checks so that children can't...
So, of course, they make it sound really good. Obviously, what they're saying so far, nothing wrong with this. Always wise to protect those that are online, right? Not bad sounding at all. Except for what they started to add into it. You know, they tag stuff on the end of it. Oh, by the way, you can't criticize certain, of course, groups online anymore. Oh, you don't like those people that moved into your country? That don't actually belong in your country? You can't criticize them. Of course, that's apparently one of the things they're tagging on to it. They have right now people protesting in the country while they're releasing these new safe laws, which actually have all this other baggage added onto it. Really what they're doing is the front end is just to make it look good. It's like the candy coating when they got the pill with the real thing they want on the end, which has to do with you can't say bad things about people that you, of course, don't like moving into your country.
And they're censoring the protests?
Oh, what was that? What did it say? Oh, local laws. We are temporarily restricting access to this content until X estimates your, of course, age. Oh, that's so weird. Oh, so you can't say something against, you know, someone who is not exactly legal in your country anymore. This is the real reason for it.
So are there actual big protests going on? UK protests? Wait, why is nobody talking about this? What the fuck? They're getting censored? We have it bad here? Well, let's take a look at some of these.
Rain has really dampened things down. Until a short time ago,
they're gonna melt.
There were hundreds and hundreds of people here.
Yeah.
So now you know the real reason for the law. Not because they really care, because they want to, of course, control. And actually, that's probably what it really is about. You have some posts on X regarding this. An elite team of police officers are going to monitor, of course, your social media. Grandma's posting on Facebook again. Say, what happened to my country? Oh, kick down her door and arrest her. Literally, I've shown video. They literally do this. A grandma getting arrested, sitting in front of her TV. in the UK because she posted something on Facebook. That's normal. You know what I mean? This is the kind of stuff they're doing now. Maximize social media intelligence is what they call it, right? Gathering after, police forces were criticized, or the response to, oh, we don't like listening to what the people say. We'll just pretend like we do. That's what we'll do. And of course, on top of that, and like I said, we're going to get into a ton of stuff. We're just barely getting started, my friends. Of course, they had an episode on a news channel in the UK where a guy who, of course, is not legal, is saying, we should have did more. When these people were, of course, attacked. Oh, we should, I wish their efforts would not have ended with only a few people. It should have been more. They're literally allowing them to say this stuff on TV while you can't post like, hey, we don't like these kind of people in our country. You see what I'm getting at? It's like a joke. And, of course, we have here Ridvan talking about how what's currently going on in Europe is really not good, and how it could end up being something much, much worse very soon for the West if it continues. There may not be a West very soon here. And of course, in our country, they're trying to do, I don't know if this is the same. I noticed it's at the exact same time. Visa and MasterCard pretending like they're moral. Can you imagine them being moral? Really?
Steam's new rule changes everything, and Valve, at least from their perspective, had no choice but to implement. So here's what's happened. Last week, Valve quietly added Rule 15 to Steam. They used to have 14, now there are 15. And this 15th rule bans content that payment processors don't like. Now, this is not illegal.
So let me explain something. They don't seem to have a problem with it when it's on that one website called Only, of course, Fans. They just seem to have a problem with it when it's everywhere else. But actually, it's kind of interesting because I really don't think that's what's going on here. It's all about a test to see what you will allow, right? You remember, Billy Boy, we're talking Clinton, his wife was pushing morality back in the 80s. And we need to curb this. We need to stop all this. Do you really think they care? Do you really think they care? Or is it more about things like control, my friends? And they're just looking to see what you'll allow. You got to have that candy coating on the pill. Oh, will they allow the candy coating? Oh, they're going to allow the candy coating. So now you have companies telling you your morality. Do you really trust Visa and MasterCard when it comes to morality? I don't think I do. I don't know about you guys, but at any rate, so I can see through these things. It happened at the exact same time. I think it might be related. At any rate, we're going to get into a ton of stuff in this video, and we do need to change the country. We need to get back to God. I 100% agree with that. Matter of fact, we're making a game right now called Noah VR, where we're offering you the opportunity to get involved with the game. We have about 130 seats available left. 620 of them, I think, a lot of them have been fulfilled or filled already. I can't remember the exact. No, actually, it's less than I'm thinking. It's 570 is what it was. 570 have already been filled. People have put $400 in. You will get the opportunity to gain profits when the game releases. When we start selling it, 33% of Noah VR profits are set aside for all the shareholders that put in $400. Each one is a seat. The more you put in, the more of the percentage of the 33% you will get. Again, there's only like 570 people, I think, that have already gotten involved, or 570 seats filled. It might only be like 500 people and some bought extra. But the fact is, you're still have seats available if you're interested. Our game is getting very close to being complete, but then we have to, of course, do beta testing and all that kind of stuff, and then marketing. But if you want to get on board, you can do so. Link is in the description. Also, food supply, 25-year shelf life. Link is in the description. 3 months worth for $4.97. You're going to definitely want to get that before the wonderful apocalypse hits us. Honestly, I'm seeing a lot of crazy stories. I'm not even going to cover them all here because there's so many of them. There's literally 1 million of them. And I'm going to show you in this video what I showed over my other channel a little bit at the tail end of this, how they're literally preparing for this. They know what's coming. We're talking the people at the top are building, of course, bunkers. They're building, cities, of course, underground with your and my money. 21 trillion just went missing. They know the end's coming. They're literally saying it. There's one article where an OpenAI founder is building an underground, of course, bunker for his scientists to avoid the rapture. Literally the name of the title of the article. I've shown it multiple times, but it's just so ridiculous, right? Like they know something's coming, and it's super obvious. It's wise to be prepared for whatever's next. Link is in the description. Of course, this book here, The Lost Ways, How Your Great-Great-Grandfather Lived Without Electricity. That as well. You might need that book. If you have 2-3 weeks without electricity, this book will be a lifesaver. $37. Get the printed version. Of course, you need the printed version if there's no electricity. Link is in the description. Let's get back to the video. So we have here Jerome Powell apparently needs billions of dollars to renovate a building. Billions. I mean, how many buildings do you know that are worth billions of dollars? Like none? Kind of weird.
Jerome Powell has been overseeing a renovation of the building as well as the building next to it. Initially, the renovation was going to cost $1.9 billion.
Too little now.
But construction costs have ballooned to $2.5 billion. Just to illustrate how wild this is, here's a chart that compares the Federal Reserve renovations with other federal building renovations in cost per square foot. You can see how out of control the spending has become.
And, of course, the building, they were planning on building terrace gardens on it. Beehives, special elevators, VIP dining room. What they're doing is they're wasting money on building a parking garage underneath the ground at like 100 times the price it would have cost if they just built a new one above ground. And they're building some sort of secret, of course, passages underneath as well. And I wonder if this is kind of related to these underground, of course, cities, which we're going to talk about also in this video. Let me just show you that real quick, since I'm already talking about it. Where is that at? It's not this one. We're going to get into also what's going on with the whole island and a lot of other things. My goodness, where is it at? Is it this one? Yeah, here it is. This lady worked under Billy Boy, of course, Clinton. Let's see if I can show her face on that. This lady right here, talking about how they had actually had special projects and, oh, $20 trillion went missing. How much is our national debt? It's like $37 trillion. Literally more than half the national debt went missing. It just went missing. They just lost it. Oh, no, actually they spent all that money on cities, literal cities. They built 170 cities, of course, underground, and they have a network connecting them all. For what? Let me show you. What could it be? Oh, maybe it's Revelation. They called to the mountains and the rocks, fall on us and hide us from the face of him who sits on the throne and from the wrath. Not the laugh, the wrath. Well, actually, he laughs too, by the way. There's a verse on that as well. Why do the heathen rage and the people imagine a vain thing? The kings of the earth set themselves and rulers counsel together against the Lord, against his anointed, saying, let us break the bands asunder, cast away the cords from us. He that sits in the heavens shall laugh. And he also has wrath, which is the other verse here, of the Lamb. They know it's coming. There's literally an article I've shown like 10 times. OpenAI co-founder builds a bunker because he knows the rapture is coming. Like, what? Like, what? You got another guy who worked on OpenAI saying in 2 years it's going to be like Terminator with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Like the end is, of course, coming. And I showed over my other channel this clip, and I'm thinking, I got this weird feeling in my head that I'm right about this. That this is what's really going on. This movie is literally telling you what's going on here. This is Resident Evil, the final chapter. This is when the AI is telling the protagonist what's going on. Like, why did they have a business meeting planning out, of course, the end, of the world? Check this out.
It was a recording of a meeting of the Umbrella High Command, dated 17 months before the viral outbreak occurred.
Oh, by the way, there's someone saying there might be that coming too, but let's keep playing.
Not just to talk about the future of this company, we're here to talk about its destiny. We're here to talk about the end of the world.
That's interesting.
Population growth will overtake food production in less than 50 years, leading to famine
World's ending.
and war. This is not conjecture. This is fact. One way or another, our world is coming to an end.
What do you propose?
Let's build 170 bunkers. That's what we propose. That's what they did. I'm just my theory. Okay. So they know it's coming. They can't stop it. So let's just do it on our terms, right? Let's just build all this stuff for ourselves. By the way, how did they get this 20 trillion missing? Oh, it comes back to the island. Oh, the island that everyone's talking about. Yeah. Apparently it's connected, according to this lady who used to work under the president. Where is that at? I got it around. Apparently she said it on this interview here with Stephen Gardner, and was talking about how this what was really going on. The big thing that was going on with the island was actually money, of course, laundering. That was the big thing. That's how 20 trillion just went missing. So then they can go do whatever they needed to do, like build 170 cities, without you and I, of course, being involved. And they're not building it for you and I. They're building it for themselves. You see how that works? Because, of course, they don't care, about you and I. They care about themselves. You know what I mean? Like, this is what's going on. This is kind of my theory. Now, what's interesting, I pointed out on my other channel, how people are noticing really bizarre things with the sun. I saw a lot of my comment section today, even. I was reading through the comment section on multiple videos. People saying that the sun all of a sudden is white instead of yellow. Back in the 70s and 80s, it was yellow. People are saying that you get sunburned much easier now. The UV is way worse. People are saying that there's some that are saying 4 or 5 years ago they noticed a difference. Some are saying 10 years ago. Some are talking like the 80s. Like it's changed since the 80s. And maybe it's just gotten worse and worse. Maybe there was jumps in how it got worse. I don't know. And there's also other bizarre things going on. I showed strange things being seen, of course, in the sky. Something that looks like the sun but isn't. Just go check out my other videos and you'll see what I'm talking about. I can't get into all of this here because I'm not trying to do 5 videos in one here. But the fact is, there's a lot of weird stuff. And it makes you kind of wonder what's going on. Because it says in Scripture that things will change. And actually, someone put in the comment section a verse that is in the New Testament I thought was interesting. In Luke 21, and there shall be signs in the sun and in the moon and the stars. And by the way, we saw a lot of that with these astronomical constellations, of course, aligning. Revelation 12 sign, multiple blood moon tetrads. We saw that particularly start in 2014. Ever since 2014, we've seen a lot of this ramping up. We saw a comet eclipse Betelgeuse, the star, which is in the constellation Orion. We saw a lot of, I've covered all this stuff in the past. We saw a lot of really peculiar and rare constellational, of course, alignments over the last several years. And I mean, for one, the one that happened in 2017, the Revelation 12 one, that the last time it happened was 2,000 years ago at the birth of the King of Kings. That's kind of rare. So we already saw that, but now people are noticing other things, like the sun being different than it used to be, noticing the sun is rising earlier than it used to, setting later than it should at this time of year. The year before, there was this guy documenting it on TikTok. I showed it. I can't show all the stuff now. Go check out my other videos. But there shall be signs in the sun and the moon and the stars, and upon the earth distress of the nations, perplexity. We're seeing that. The sea, the waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. You got these guys going crazy that are making all the stuff that will cause this. Like Sam Altman and his bizarre, of course, history, which I don't want to get into in this video either, but I just saw a video about that as well. That was weird. But a lot of these guys behind AI. For the powers of heaven shall be shaken, and there shall be I can't speak. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in the cloud of power in great glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up, lift your heads, for your redemption draweth nigh. That's a pretty good verse. I think it kind of describes what we're seeing right now. Sounds just like what the guy at Umbrella Corporation was saying there, except for he has his own dark version of Noah's Ark. to save themselves. But again, we saw the end of that. It's right here. They're in their bunkers and they're underneath, of course, the ground. And they say to themselves, mountains and rocks fall on us. Maybe we shouldn't have built these things. It's not really helping us any. Right? So you got all that going on. I thought that was kind of interesting stuff. Thought you guys might find that a little bit interesting as well. You have also a changing. We've seen, I talked about, we entered into a new, of course, age, the age of Goshen. We're seeing all these celebrities. We saw Hulk Hogan, the king of wrestling and entertainment wrestling, die. We had Ozzy Osbourne, the king of metal. I think I accidentally said the king of rock in the last video. Everyone was saying, no, that's Elvis. The king of metal, or maybe you can call him the prince of metal, or whatever you want to call him. He died, and apparently right at the end of his life, it looks like he might have became a Christian within the last 2 weeks before he died. Check out this clip here.
He said, we get him to the elevator, and he goes, where's my Bible? I'm not going upstairs without my Bible. And he said, all the horror convention people are like, what? And he said...
Ozzy Osbourne said that? Where's my
Yes.
Bible? The story of Ozzy Osbourne.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us how that went.
Ozzy is somebody that myself and most Christians would think is somebody completely off.
And too far gone, maybe.
To the gospel. Yes. And I mean, he's literally...
Yeah, a lot of people thought that. And you had, of course, Alice Cooper. You would have thought that about him as well. And from what I understand, he became a Christian as well. So some of these guys are ancient rock, or no, metal legends. I think metal is the right word to say. Because rock is different than metal. Becoming Christians at the end of their lives. We even had Hulk Hogan get baptized, I think last year, recommitting his faith. So that's some interesting news. But they were also at the top of what they did in their genre. And I believe God is removing and starting a new thing. You can't fill new wine in old wineskins. You need new wineskins. So we're now going to be seeing new leadership coming up. You see in the world, these, of course, people at the top, all like 90 years old, 70 years old, 80 years old. God's saying, you guys have been leading too long. Look at what you've caused in this world. It's not like a good world anymore, obviously. It's really bad. It's like the worst it can be. Maybe we need some new leadership. Maybe someone who's godly, unlike a lot of you people, right? And, of course, you have Hollywood. Pedro Pascal. A lot of people are now talking about him because of his weird anxiety, or he claims it's anxiety, right? Everyone has anxiety, right? But he claims that he needs to, touch a person on the arm or hug them or whatever, some weird stuff to get over his anxiety. And of course, a lot of people are making jokes about that now. You have this clip, Pedro Pascal feeling anxious.
Damn you, Roger.
Oh my goodness, dude.
Roger.
Yeah, that's about right. Of course, here he is, acting bizarre as well. I don't get it. A lot of people are saying, yeah, that's the kind of anxiety he has. This lady here he's with is married to another man and pregnant, and for some reason treating him like he's her husband or something. I don't know what's going on there. It's really weird. So you got a lot of things like this going on. And of course, he has all the right opinions as a Hollywood celebrity, checks off all the boxes. That's why they pump him into all the top movies of recent, because he's everything they want. The flagship. Oh, he's got all the right opinions. Oh, he's not. Of course, this color, he's from another country. Oh, perfect. It's just hilarious to watch this. You got Fantastic Four and a lot of other movies he's in. I think he was in the recent Gladiator, wasn't he? I can't even remember. But yeah, so you got that guy, and actually there was some other stuff I could get into. I'll probably do that in another video. You have apparently more models that are only, of course, fans now claiming to be Christians, which is an interesting topic. I'll probably get into that another time. We had here Nick Jones talking about it. And there is a lot of hypocrisy. There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world right now. So that's definitely going to be an interesting topic to talk about. I'm going to get into AI and all the weird videos on that of recent. Oh my goodness, it's getting crazy. I'll probably do a video on that soon as well. Smartest man in the world saying Jesus is coming back soon. I happen to agree with him. Although, I mean, I don't want to say I know for sure he's coming in this generation, but I mean, goodness gracious, if you wanted to, it seems like a very good potential. Let's just put it that way. At any rate, that's my video. I'm kind of wondering what some of you guys think. Let me know in the comment section below, and thanks for watching.